Welcome back everyone! I have returned to Southeast Asia, this time in Thailand. Sorry it's been a bit of a quiet one this year as far as my uploads go. I've been busy with personal stuff. So I was going to come out here next year again in sort of similar time as I did Vietnam, so February, March maybe, and do another 3-week trip. But I had 2 weeks of leave to use from work by the end of the year. So I booked a very last minute cheap flight to Bangkok, and here I am. And when I say last minute, I mean like within the last 10 days. So I have got absolutely no agenda for my visit here, which makes a difference compared to what I usually do. But we'll see, maybe that could be a fun way of doing things. So it's the end of October now, just coming up to November, which is the start of Thailand's cool season. Not bloody cool at the moment though, I tell you. Still about 30, 31 degrees I think, and yeah, I can feel it. So I've just dropped off my stuff at the hostel, had a shower. It's about 3 PM now. Had about a 10-hour flight to get over here. Direct though, which was a good thing. So yeah, I am pretty tired, but you know, don't want to waste any time, so just gonna go out and explore the nearby area for today. Go get some food because, you know, what else would I do? And maybe might try and make my way over to Chinatown, which is, I think, maybe half an hour walk or so from here. So I am currently just around the corner from Khao San Road, if that's pronounced correctly. Basically, backpacker central of Bangkok. So I'll take a stroll down there first and find something to eat, because I have not eaten properly for nearly a day. Scoffed a whole box of chocolates on the flights and that's it. Right, I found the fried insect man, so now I'm going to try it. I have no idea what this is, some weird bug. You know what? This is going to sound really weird, but it almost tastes a bit like coffee and chocolate. The texture is not nice, it's a bit dry and chewy, but if I had to guess what that was, I would honestly say, based on purely flavour alone, I would have said some sort of coffee infused chocolate, when in actual fact it was a weird cricket thing. Right, first meal, aside from the weird fried grasshopper thing, is, what did I order again? Thai fried rice with shrimp. Did I say rice? I meant noodles. These noodles are amazing, they're like proper melt in your mouth. Don't think I've ever described noodles that way before. I've just realised I've been eating this with a fork the whole time, and I've had chopsticks right next to me. So I feel pretty inauthentic. I feel like I've cheated my way out of, you know, experiencing the culture. So I apologise for that. It won't happen again. Well, that was absolutely delicious, as you were probably expecting. I am passing some pretty spectacular temples on the way down this road to downtown, shall we call it. There's one behind this wall, but I think I'll save all the temples for tomorrow and have a Temple Tuesday. Actually, you know what? I've got time, and I've got loads of stuff that I can do tomorrow anyway, so whilst I'm here, sure, let's go and have a look inside. I'm going to take a guess and say that maybe some of the monks live in these sort of outer buildings, which are just on the other side of the main temple. Could be completely wrong, but I have seen 1 or 2 monks walking around. Can't go inside this one, unfortunately. Don't think it's a clothing thing, it's just a general sort of no access. But hopefully some of the ones I go and see tomorrow, I will be able to go inside and get a better look around. But they are such magnificent buildings, like all the colours and stuff. Really, really nice. Don't know how old they are, generally. I mean, obviously some temples can be thousands of years old, the sort of ones that are generally ruins, but these ones I'm not too sure. This is a pretty little area. Just come down this random alleyway with markets in it and out to what looks like a bridge over a small canal. This will look really nice when it's dark. I'll try and come back this way later. Still amazes me the amount of just raw stuff you get down these little alleyway markets. Got a few Halloween shops popping up. Didn't realise Halloween was celebrated over here. Or maybe it isn't, maybe it is just for the Westerners. Right, I believe I am now on the Chinatown street, so I think the food market stalls are a little bit further down. Don't know what I'm heading though. I'm not hungry at all after the lunch I had earlier. Alright, so we're going to basically skip last night because I'll be honest, I was really tired and not that hungry actually, so I didn't really buy anything from Chinatown. So I just ended up in a bar playing pool for a couple of hours. So I'll go back there tonight instead and we'll try out some of the food because there was a lot of stalls there selling a lot of different things. So I'm just going to make my way over to the Grand Palace to start with, which is bang centre in the middle of Bangkok, pretty much. And then go and see some of the temples and stuff around there. So I believe it was the Thai king's mother died within the last 2 weeks or so. So there's a lot of memorials put up around the city and well probably around the country, I would imagine, as I go around a little bit more. So all the flags are flying at half-mast at the moment. So possibly in extension to what I just said, the Grand Palace is actually closed at the moment. There's a lot of work going on over the other side of the road here, so I'm guessing it's something to do with the funeral for the Queen. But yeah, the palace isn't currently open, so we'll have to skip that one, unfortunately. Postponing the palace visit until the end of the trip, I took a boat across the river to visit Wat Arun, a landmark of the Bangkok skyline. Sure, it's a great idea to have all of your electricity poles planted into the river. It's a lot smaller than I was expecting for some reason, but it is still very architecturally impressive. That is a word, isn't it? Architecturally. Much like I found in Vietnam, it's only when you sort of get closer you can actually see the detail of what exactly is carved into the wall. This bit's really interesting. It's like they've almost planted sort of crockery and plates and cups into the wall. Like these all look like little mini saucepans or something. Did I say saucepans? I think I meant saucers or something. What are they called? You know, little tea plates. There's various more carvings right up towards the very top, sort of monkeys and elephants, I think, but we can't go up that high to have a look. Seems like a lot of people have dressed up in what I would describe as traditional clothing for the event of visiting here, but yeah, it's still nice to see what sort of local cultures wear outside of the day-to-day. I'm not sure if the big tall structure behind me is has like an inside to it and actually has a purpose, or if it's just purely a solid structure for decoration or whatever purpose it has. But there's other buildings around the complex that actually have use, like the ordination halls and the I'm going to read it from this sign and pretend that I know what I'm talking about. What have we got? The ordination halls and the assembly halls, and a few other things. But whether the main attraction behind me has any specific purpose, I'm not sure. Just down a little alleyway market, just ordered a seafood pad thai. Coming from the land of the cost of living crisis, also known as the United Kingdom, I am once again amazed at the price of food over here. Meal back there, 2 drinks, bottle of Pepsi, bottle of water, less than £3. Absolutely incredible. So this is Wat Pho or Wat Pha Chatuchak or something, if you want to give it the long name. Told you we were going to do Temple Tuesday. This is quite a tranquil place, really. Almost like a massive garden of sorts, just loads of these statues or ornaments or whatever you want to call them, all dotted around the place, with loads of lovely sort of plantations, trees and smaller statues and things. It's really nice. And yeah, there are loads of cats dotted around the place. It's sometimes hard to tell which structure is actually like the main one, because there's so many just gigantic tall spires popping out all over the place. I think it's generally kind of the main structure is in the middle. I think it's this one here. But then you've got, like, again, gigantic spires over here as well, so it's a little bit hard to tell what the actual sort of layout of the place is until you just go and look at the site map, which is available at the entrance. One of those things I don't think you'll really appreciate the scale of until you've seen it in person. This is the reclining Buddha, probably one of the largest statues I've ever seen. I've heard stories of, you know, monks being sort of mummified almost in these Buddha-like statues. Makes me wonder about these ones. So the big 4 spires which I mentioned earlier on, these ones here, I think these are actually dedicated temples to the first 4 kings of Thailand, or the first 4 kings of a certain dynasty. I would assume the same dynasty is currently in power at the moment, so King Rama I to King Rama IV. Yeah, really interesting and scenic place. I would definitely recommend a visit if you're in the area. Right, I'm going to head back to my hostel and just change my shirt, and then I'll head off into Chinatown, and this time we will get food. Different dishes. Let's see how that goes. I've definitely seen some good options for pudding already. I've settled on some stir-fried noodles with chicken. I know they're almost the same as what I had for lunch, but I do like noodles. That was delicious, although it did have a bit of lettuce underneath it, which just seemed a little bit odd, but these noodles filled me up. I've got a spring roll to try. I'm going to go back to the main alleyway and go get some dessert of some kind. Dessert is stored in a separate stomach, always remember that. The pancakes looked really nice, but I only wanted one, and I wasn't allowed to buy one. I had to buy 4, and I didn't want 4. Oh, and the spring roll was also really good, by the way. Something so simple. There's a lot of stuff that's probably just a more fresh, authentic version to what you get at your local Chinese, but then there's also a lot of stuff which you, well, I at least genuinely have no idea what it is, because It's all written in Thai or Chinese, I'm guessing. I've just got some strawberries with some, you know, shortbread breadcrumb sort of thing, covered in Nutella. Don't complicate the simple things, even in Thailand. This is the Pat Pong night market, and it doesn't look like there will be a shortage of random goods for me to look at. Once again, I'm restricted by my personal baggage allowance on the way back to consider buying anything substantial size. There's a very interesting mix of things down here. I suggest you maybe look it up online if you want more details. There's a lot of people that just like sleep outside on the streets, like outside of the stores and stuff, but they don't necessarily look homeless. I mean, maybe they are, I'm not sure, but maybe it's just people who sleep outside where they work and get up and get straight to work the next day. I don't know. This is Khao San Road at night time, much more livelier than it is in the day. This orange juice is potentially the best I've ever had, and I really wasn't expecting it. I would hate to think how busy that road gets in the peak season in sort of December, January, February time. Anyway, I have noticed that there are an abundance of 7-Eleven stores around Bangkok. I have yet to go in and see if they have those absolutely delicious blueberry muffins that they have in the stores in Denmark, which I went to a couple of years ago. Might go and find out in the morning. I would guess probably not, but we can be hopeful. Good morning, everybody. I say morning, it's not morning at all, it's mid-afternoon. But I've been planning the next part of my trip, so booking flights and hostels and stuff. I also ended up getting up quite late again, because for some reason I just couldn't sleep very well last night. Maybe the jet lag is catching up with me. You can tell when the fruit is fresh. Such a good part about being in this part of the world. So this is Lumpini Park, big open green space in the middle of Bangkok, surrounded by the high-rise buildings all around. There's quite a few of these big lizard things around the park. It's quite a jungly atmosphere with all the various sounds, all the little insects and birds in the trees. It really does sound like you're in the middle of a rainforest or something. But then obviously you've got the sort of background noise of the city around you, so it's an interesting blend. Local Thai resident has got a keen eye. She just pointed out some more of the lizards up in the tree up here. Okay, could have done with seeing this sign slightly earlier on, but whatever. It's fine, I have not been bitten, so I will not turn into a lizard man. There are loads of them around though. I saw a little one like over the other side and think, oh wow, that's like, you know, going to be a rare spot, but as soon as you walk along the side of the main ponds, they are just everywhere alongside the banks of the lakes. So I've booked to go and see a Muay Thai show tonight, so that starts in about 2 hours. Muay Thai being the sort of national martial art of Thailand, in case you didn't know. So I'm expecting that's going to be quite entertaining. This is my first Thai red curry in Thailand. I'm very excited. This is even better than I was expecting, and I had high expectations. That evening I made my way to Rajadamnern Stadium, joining many others who'd come to witness the sheer brutality of Thailand's national sport. It is known as the art of 8 limbs, combining the use of fists, elbows, knees and shins for effective striking against the opponent. Despite its ferocious nature, the combatants here showed a great amount of respect for the sport itself and for each other. Muay Thai can be found all over Thailand, but my experience here in Bangkok was certainly a highlight that I would highly recommend to anyone visiting. Really good. Really good atmosphere in there. I would definitely recommend watching that if you're in Bangkok. I'm just walking to the train station and I've just stumbled across another night market. Completely accidental, I didn't even know this one existed, but down this road with all the lights set up the trees, it's really, really nice. I think I'll take the opportunity to try some more street food maybe. I've had my share of weird insects on this trip, so I'm not going to try any more. He says, and then straight away goes and picks up some snails. I think I've had a bit too much chili sauce on them. Yeah, snails don't really taste of anything other than what you dip them in or cook them in which case it's chili sauce, so yeah, not the best meal I've had. Okay, this does look a little bit more appetizing. I think I've got some, like, one with crab, one with seaweed. I'm not sure what this orange bubbly one is, or what the other one is either. That was really good, especially the crab one. I don't know if those, that bubbly looking one, if they're like, are they like fish eggs or something? I'm taking a guess that's what they might have been. They were not so tasty, but almost had like quite a creamy texture, which was unexpected. All the fish and like sushi, it's so cheap out here, it's incredible. You want to go out for sushi back in the UK, you've got to be prepared to like spend at least 40 quid for one meal. Whereas this little stick of grilled shrimp or something and those 4 bits of sushi I had earlier, 50p each. Like for the 4 bits of sushi was 50p. Incredible. There's nothing on like the likes of Google Maps to suggest that this market is even here, so yeah, I'm just really surprised, but it's really, really good. I've come to the conclusion that there is very little that you cannot get down Khao San Road. So yeah, little tip if you're ever here. So fast forward 20 odd hours, I am now in Chiang Mai. So I've flown over here from Bangkok because the flights were dirt cheap and I didn't really particularly fancy a 11 hour bus ride overnight. Can't find any sleeper trains either, which I was surprised at. Not sure if they're just sort of fully booked and you need to book quite far in advance this time of year, I'm not sure. But again, I didn't fancy a roughly 13 hour overnight train ride without a bed. So I've literally got no idea what I'm doing from this point. I have not planned or looked into anything further than Bangkok, so in terms of what I can do around here, I've got absolutely no idea. So yeah, it's yeah, we'll just have to see what happens, I guess. I will try and plan maybe some sort of excursion or activity. Don't want to just keep walking around the cities all the time. So they've got some things that they do in the hostel that I'm staying at, so I'll inquire about those later on or tomorrow. For now, what I do need to find though is a new little side bag because my zip has broken. Well, I know I'm in a different part of Thailand because I've been able to walk for more than 20 minutes without somebody trying to aggressively tell me something. Where are all the stands full of people selling fake branded goods? That is exactly what I need right now. I just had a Tom Yum Kung. It was bloody incredible. Would definitely try one if you're looking for things to try that you haven't before. It's like a spicy soup with shrimp in it, but it's got that same sort of fragrance that you'd get with a Thai red curry or something. Really, really good. The next morning, I hired a moped and made my way up the mountain of Doi Su Thep. So I have ventured up into the mountains to Doi Su Thep National Park, I think it's called. It's a lot cooler up here, especially coming up the roads. Actually, dare I say, it gets a little bit chilly at times. But it's fine now at the top. Well, maybe not at the top, but further on up it's a comfortable temperature. So I'm just parked outside what fra that Doi Su Thep. I should learn some Thai really, or some general words, because I'm sure a lot of this would actually translate into something a little bit more meaningful. Obviously what must mean tampon or something. Fra that or fra that, I'm sure I've heard that before somewhere. Doi Su Thep is obviously the park where I am, so it does all have some sort of meaningful labelling, I'm sure. So I'm guessing this place is like a little mountain village of some kind. Lots of sort of stalls and houses here. Well, I assume they're houses as well. It's a bit hard to tell sometimes. I am still looking for a little side pocket bag of some kind, but that does seem to be the one thing that all of a sudden nobody wants to sell. Right, I need to walk away from the market stalls before I buy more bracelets. I've just bought 4 on top of the 2 I already bought the other day. I'm gonna have very heavy wrists by this point. Stairway to heaven. Now that is a view worth seeing. I think you can just about make out the perimeter of the old city near the airport, if I'm not mistaken. Right, let's go and find the actual temple that I've paid 30 baht for a ticket to get into. Again, it's hard to tell if there's like a main structure or if it is just all one big complex. I don't know if what as a term refers to a building or like the entire complex itself. Got some artwork and literature here. Not sure if it tells a story of some kind or something, because it's all in Thai, and I do not read Thai. If what does refer to one structure, then my guess is it would be this bit here. Right, descending the stairway to heaven. I can try out one of these little mountain restaurants now. I got one of these sort of roll-up bamboo drawings when I was last in Thailand quite some time ago, and I really like them, and I would happily get another, but I think again I would probably have space issues getting it back. I mean, I'd probably be okay, but really I just need to come on a trip with a larger bag at some point. Have you ever tried eating a whole chicken leg with chopsticks? I haven't. Right, it's rained a little tiny bit, but the sun has now come out, so happy days. I'm going to hop back on my bike and carry on upwards into the mountains. This is one of the viewpoints going up the mountains. No words needed really. You can see one of the little villages just below us in the valley. Let's go for a little hike into the jungle. Alright, this was a short-lived hike. This trail does not go anywhere. I'm sure there are some slightly more official places to do jungle trekking around here. So there is a nature trail just up the road a little bit, but it's closed at the moment, and by closed I mean it looks like a construction site, so I'm not sure what's going on with that, or if you can still do it in any other way, not that I can see by just looking at this diagram here of a few areas around the national park. Yeah, I might make another trip back here on one of the other days. I've got to get back now because we've got a Halloween party tonight at the hostel, which sounds fun. But yeah, I have extended my time here in Chiang Mai, so yeah, I've got a couple of days and I can stay even longer if I really want to. So if there's plenty to do, then I will, so I might come back. Good afternoon, everyone. It's only just afternoon, by the way. I've just had some lovely French toast, because why not eat French toast while in Thailand? I've just come to have a look around one of the local shopping malls, because you know I like a good shopping centre, and then later on I've got a Thai cooking class, so I am looking forward to that. Anyway, I'm not going to show you all of this because I'm sure you all know what a shopping centre looks like, so yeah, I will catch up with you later. Thai supermarkets have these cute little arches above each aisle. What a good idea. In keeping with tradition, I will try some Thai chocolate milk whilst I'm here. Wow, that's actually pretty good. I'm impressed. I generally don't have high expectations for foreign chocolate milk, but that is actually pretty good. That afternoon I joined a few other fellow travellers at the Baan Thai Cookery School, where we all chose a selection of dishes to cook from scratch and enjoy throughout the day. We started off with a trip to one of the local markets, where they explain the core ingredients in many Thai dishes and the various types of key herbs, spices and aromatic vegetables. Back at the kitchen, we started off making the mango sticky rice that we'd have for dessert at the very end, made with coconut milk and a special blue flower that I forget the name of. We put that aside to do its thing before moving on to the Thai classic Pad Thai, made with spring onions, garlic, bean sprouts, dried shrimp, chicken, tofu, egg, cooked in water, oyster sauce and fish sauce. With its irrefutable simplicity and flavour, Pad Thai really has moved to become one of my favourite all-time dishes, even if I can't quite make it as good back at home. Next was a Tom Yum Goong, a spicy soup similar to what I'd had the previous night, made with lime leaves, lemongrass, tomato, onion, oyster mushrooms and some chilli paste. Simple, light, yet extremely flavoursome. Next up were the spring rolls, made with minced pork, glass noodles, mushrooms, shredded carrots and white cabbage, all wrapped and deep fried until golden and crispy. It was a good thing I was hungry and the main dish was only just coming up. I opted to make the Thai green curry, so I started with the paste, all made from scratch with green chillies, Thai ginger, lemongrass, shrimp paste, coriander and turmeric root. This was then cooked in oil with chicken, the greens, fish sauce and some sugar. Served with some simple fragrant rice, it was probably my favourite dish. We finished with the mango and rice, which easily surprised me the most, as I was not expecting such a simple combination to be so effective. This was my favourite activity in Chiang Mai and possibly my favourite of the whole trip. For the 1100 baht price tag, around 20 quid, it was incredible value for money, and you even got a little cookbook to take away at the end. So yeah, I probably don't need to justify my recommendation on this one, just go and do it if you can. Such an atmospheric market around here, and I think this is meant to be like one of the smaller ones. The Sunday night market is meant to be pretty big, so that'll be tomorrow, so I'll go and check that out as well. I've managed to find myself another side bag as well, which is good. There is something quite atmospheric about a night market in the rain, or is that just me? Riding home in the rain, however, not so much. At least when it's raining, it's not boiling hot. On Sunday morning, I took a ride into the outer city mountains, driving around the twisty roads for an hour or so until I arrived at the King Kong Ziplines Centre. With 17 ziplines at various lengths, the next few hours were going to be a lot of fun, including Asia's longest zipline at 1200 metres. Ziplines this morning, got a fantastic view all over the jungle. Taken about an hour to drive up here through the twisty, windy roads. This is I'm doing the extreme course, which includes Asia's longest zipline, I believe. We got kitted up with these weird little hairnet things for some reason, then made our way across and down into the valley.
I hate drops.
That is the most horrible feeling to me. We started off with a few smaller zip lines and sky bridges, with the zip lines quickly reaching over 500 meters in length. That was the longest zip line I've ever done. That was really fun. I'm not sure if that was the really, really long one. That's like 1,200 meters. I think that's at the end, so I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out. Plot twist, it was not. And the longer zip lines allowed for greater views over the incredible jungle valley. Oof. 700 meters that one was, I think. So still a little bit way off the longest one, which is 1,200. There were a couple of extra obstacles along the way, and the guides like to have a little bit of extra fun with everyone at certain points. Including pretending that our carabiners were falling apart at one point. That almost got me.
Oh! Wow. We have one more, the last one. Oh.
And you gotta tell the fucking music.
Okay, good luck.
Sunday night, which is market night. I will be heading there in a second. I'm just getting myself a fried chicken and cheese wrap from one of the street stalls. Well, I've just got the most beastly chicken wrap. There's like 3 layers of sauce, blowtorch melted cheese, all the fillings. Looks pretty incredible. Wow. Best chicken wrap I've ever had. Right, time to go and find some dessert. British man struggles to put bag over his shoulder. So I believe it's every Sunday that this market basically closes one of the main streets through the old city of Chiang Mai. I did go down there earlier quickly to drop some laundry off, and it was pretty busy. Thai sausage. It's like a Thai curry flavoured sausage. It's not what I was expecting, but it's really good. This is some kind of like, deep fried or fried shrimp ball, not pastry, batter stuff. I'm not sure, it's hard to describe, but it's really nice. I think I completely understated the actual size of this market earlier. It definitely basically takes over the entirety of the central ancient city. There is a lot of very good looking food around here that I would like to try, but it's a shame it's only on once a week. I found my pudding, waffle place. It's delicious. I've just got to stand here and eat it under this cover because it's decided to put it down. Me getting wet is one thing. My camera and my bag, which is for carrying my clean, dry clothes, is another. Might just have to get used to this view for a little bit. Right, got me a pair of shorts and a t-shirt. Almost got another bracelet, but I resisted. Better get out of here before I buy anything else, because I really do not have the space to take it. Excellent little cafe there called the Chiang Mai. Did some really nice egg toast, so French toast. I had mine with beef and cheese, really nice. I keep choosing the best times without a doubt to come out on my bike. I dropped off my moped and called a local Uber, known as a, let me try and pronounce this, Song Thau. That's probably terrible, oh well. They're little, often red pickup trucks that I saw all over northern Thailand. Anyway, that took me to the bus station and I arrived in Chiang Rai later that day. So, I have arrived in Chiang Rai. Oh, car coming. It's about a 4-hour bus trip from Chiang Mai, so not too bad. It's a little bit cooler up here, which is nice. So we're right in the sort of far north of Thailand now. Only about an hour or so from the borders with Laos and Myanmar, I think. Area known as the Golden Triangle, which I will try and visit at some point. So I've got 4 nights here for now. That's all I've kind of booked in my hostel. Good chance I might stay. I'll probably stay in this area until I need to go back to Bangkok on the weekend to obviously catch the flight home. But yeah, we'll see. I'm just heading off into the city centre to go and have a look around. It's raining a little bit. Been raining for most of the day, to be honest. Well, I've certainly found a good place to get food by the looks of it. Right, I've got tom yum kun ramen and some Korean chicken on the way. Ideally I should find a place to sit down, but it's a bit packed. Alright, got a table, so I'm safe from the rain. I could buy an umbrella, but then it's just something extra to carry around with me everywhere. And I could buy a small bag to then carry my umbrella in case I didn't need it. But then that's something else I've got to buy and then try and get back with my very limited luggage space, or leave here and basically waste. Next time I come to this part of the world, I will just cough up and bring some check-in luggage with me, a big bag, so I can then actually indulge myself with all the nice things they sell over here. Morning everyone. This is Wat Rong Kun, also known as the White Temple, and I can tell you from all the crowds straight away that it is probably one of the most popular sights to see in Chiang Rai. And I can see why, because it is honestly a stunning building. I mean, it looks like there's actually a queue to get inside, so I'll have to go and join that at some point once I've found my way in. Over here maybe? It's not just the colour, I think it's just the amount of detail that's in the actual structure, all the sharp little edges. No photos or videos inside apparently, so we'll just have to enjoy the lovely exterior. Completely overrun with tourists, of course, but some places are, aren't they? All the little branches that are sort of carved around it gives the effect that the building is almost in flames, but still I think if they'd have painted it orange, it really would be quite an interesting effect. Inside it's just sort of your classic Buddhist shrine, but it really is the outside of the building that kind of catches your eye. This is pretty impressive. Almost looks like a Christmas tree, but it's made out of thousands of like little charms, or whatever you'd call them. Little decorations. There's a couple of them all around this sort of central sculpture behind me. In fact, I've just noticed the entire roof of this walkway is actually comprised of them. Thousands and thousands of little charms all along here. That must have taken quite a lot of work to put it all into place. I think I came at a good time slightly earlier. There is a very, very long queue to get into the temple now. Right, I've just had some lunch, so on to the next temple. Got another Temple Tuesday lined up today. And next we have the Blue Temple. Temple of Colours around Chiang Rai apparently. Personally, I'd say this is one of the prettiest temples I've been inside, but I do just like colour in general. Blue and gold is just a really nice effect. Has also got some pretty nice paintings around it as well. It's all still got those fine details that give the entire structure of that fiery look I mentioned earlier. All around, not just the main building, but all these little sub-buildings as well. It's just such a sort of unique design. I don't know what it all means, all the carvings of faces and skulls with the devil-looking creature at the top. But yeah, it's all still, it's pretty interesting. The sun has come out and it is absolutely boiling. I'm not going to complain though, I prefer it to the rain. I wasn't entirely sure what I was actually coming to see for this one. The hostel I'm staying at do like an itinerary map on Google, so they just mark off a load of various locations that are worth seeing. So I came to this one as it was in the sort of similar area. I wasn't actually too sure what I was coming to see. But it is this gigantic statue of Buddha, which I could see a couple of kilometers away coming up the road. And that is pretty damn big. Oh, there is actually another white temple as well. I should have just come straight to this one and saved the crowds. Quite daunting as you get close up to it. It's absolutely massive. Wouldn't want it to start tilting forward as you were climbing up the stairs. What's even more surprising is the fact that it's all ultimately just supported by pillars underneath. It looks like it would be far too heavy for that, but obviously not. So it isn't actually a solid structure, I'm guessing, because I can see windows at the back of it right up to the top. So it looks like there's actually space inside it. In fact, I think you might be able to go up to the top actually, because I can see lift tickets inside. Let's go and have a look. So there is a little room at the top, and there are a couple of windows for looking out. Oh, we've got some more stairs actually. Go even higher. That is an incredible view. Right over to the mountains. I'm not sure whereabouts I am in here at the moment. I'm going to guess somewhere in the Buddha's head. Ah yes, I can see now I would have been looking out through the eye slits of the Buddha. Incredible views, definitely worth going up there for 40 baht. Be a perfect venue for a wedding, but I don't know if that's a thing in Buddhist culture. There's 3D sculptures carved into the walls. Kind of looks like it's telling some sort of story, almost. Various scenarios. Looks like there's some sort of scene of somebody on a chariot and a monk by a tree, somebody farming maybe, and then somebody dying. There's a skeleton on there. All sorts of stuff, but yeah, I just don't know what it all refers to, if it does refer to anything. The next day I took a trip up north, right into the far reaches of Thailand near the Golden Triangle border, which I'd be visiting tomorrow. Today, however, was for somewhere else I'd wanted to visit for a number of years, the cave system of Tham Luang Nang Non. Translating to Great Cave of the Sleeping Lady, this 10-kilometre system lay underneath the Doi Nang Non mountain range, known locally for its external outline of a sleeping woman. So this is Tham Luang National Park. It's got a slightly longer name than that, but essentially it contains the Tham Luang cave system, which back in 2018, you may have heard, was the subject of probably the most daring and well-known cave rescues in modern history. A group of 12 young Thai boys, a football team and their coach got stuck in the cave when they went to explore it, and the rain came very suddenly and flooded the cave and trapped them inside. And after several days of trying to make their way into the cave, including the use of Thai Royal Navy SEALs, with no luck of either finding the boys or finding an alternative way into the cave that wasn't flooded, eventually 2 British divers, cave divers, found the boys all alive after, I think it was 10 days since they'd got stuck in there. So they'd been in there for 10 days, obviously with no food, no water, no outside contact. They were all found alive, and over the course of several days an international team of cave rescuers and divers, military personnel, managed to get all of the boys out and their coach all alive. Quite an incredible story really, and as a caver I am not only intrigued by the cave itself, but most definitely the rescue side of it as well. So I've just parked my bike down this track. I'm pretty sure there's trucks going up and down. I'm pretty sure they're designed to take people, tourists, to the actual cave, but I don't mind a short walk. Don't think it's too far. So the Wild Boars football team, on a fateful day back in June of 2018, came to the cave after playing football, I believe. They cycled in on their bikes, left their bikes chained, well, not chained, but left against the rails of the cave, went inside and didn't come out, obviously, until somebody raised the alarm that they'd gone into the cave. I think they were celebrating one of the boys' birthdays, I think, when people came to the cave to try and find them. All they could find was obviously their bikes left outside and the cave filling with water. And you've still got some of the bikes of the boys still in situ now. And then behind that you've got a display of various artefacts of what was used in the rescue. A few more bikes here. And then over here in this glass cabinet you've got various caving and diving equipment, goggles, helmets, lights. Looks like you've got radio equipment, telephones, pumps, air tanks, vests for diving. Some of the shirts I would assume that the boys wore. Just looking at this survey of the cave, labels a few points of interest during the rescue, and eventually the boys were actually found 2,315 metres from the entrance of the cave, i.e. where I am now. And much of that distance was flooded, so that's the sort of distance that the divers had to dive the boys. What they decided to do in the end, which is why it was so daring, is actually sedate the boys, fit them with masks and breathing equipment, and then basically almost carry them out. Not carry them out, but sort of carry them out whilst they were swimming, like packages almost. A very, very risky mission, and they were expecting fatalities, but fortunately all the original 13 that went in did come out alive. There was one fatality, a Thai Royal Navy SEAL, or ex-Royal Navy SEAL, did unfortunately die during the mission. I think there's a monument for him somewhere. I'm sure there is somewhere erected around here. I'll go and find it. Yeah, here it is, statue of Suman Kunan, who unfortunately lost his life delivering air bottles throughout the cave for the rescue divers. This is the exhibition hall for the rescue. Unfortunately, everything is in Thai, so I can't read anything out to you, but obviously it just details the process of the operation and ultimately how it unfolded. And there is also a model scale cave that tries to detail, I guess, the sort of environment that the rescuers were dealing with and give you a sense of, or an idea of just how far in they were. There's various screens in here that, again, little information boards, but hold on, focusing. There we go. Yeah, like information boards, but again, it's all in Thai, so no point me going into that. Got a board here showing that sort of famous image of the boys when they were all found alive. One of the divers, one of the two that originally found the boys alive in the cave, had a GoPro on, so filmed the sort of initial interaction, the first interaction they'd had with the outside in 10 days, and quickly spread around the world. Quite a joyous moment to realise that they were all alive. Only then did they have to kind of start thinking about the reality of actually how do they get them out, because that was the part that was ultimately going to be the trickiest to undertake. There's some photos here of the cave in flood last year in September the 11th, 2024. It's basically showing the water gushing out of the entrance down here, down these stairs, which is just incredible to think the amount of water, given the depth of that cave you can see as you walk in, the amount of water that would be in there. Pretty crazy. For reference, those 3 signs here are the ones just over there behind me. I think there's some other photos actually just in the entrance of the cave. So again, the 3 signs in this photo here are these 3 signs along here. So basically the water level was essentially at the base of these signs, so just enough to start flowing down the stairs, but to think all of that behind me would have been filled with water. You can see why they had to get the boys out in such a rush during the rescue operation. Of course, as a caver, I would like to go inside and explore the cave itself a little bit more, but that option is not available to me on this occasion. So yeah, really interesting story that almost had a perfect ending. If you do want to go and find out more about the Tham Luang cave rescue, then there's plenty of books and documentaries and even a couple of films that I would suggest. So I've just stopped off in the village of Phar Me for some lunch. I have got a blueberry soda. It's a new one. Okay, that's really, really good. It's always the best when you're kind of skeptical about something and it just surprises you and it's actually amazing. Not even too sure what I've ordered for lunch really. Some pork stir fry and noodles, not noodles, rice. This pork is absolutely exquisite. Not exactly a bad view, is it? I've climbed up into the village solely to go to another cafe and have an ice cream and just simply enjoy the view, because it is pretty spectacular. After riding back into the night, I made my way to Chiang Rai's Yipeng Lantern Festival on the banks of the river, not far from the city centre. Yipeng is traditionally held in Chiang Mai, I believe, so calling it Yipeng in this instance might be wrong, but it's a festival either way, and a chaotic one at that. The night markets were absolutely packed, with endless food stalls lining the main street. This is definitely not the place to come if you don't like being huddled in a mass movement of people. However, once I reached the more open space of the riverbank, the festivities came alive. Lanterns and fireworks lit up the night sky. You just had to make sure they weren't being fired off towards you. So this is the Golden Triangle, an area where the borders of Thailand, Myanmar and Laos all join up, somewhere technically in the middle of this river. Or to be more generic, you've got Thailand here, Myanmar on that little sort of island over there, and then Laos on the other side of the main part of the river. I would like to lay claim to my presence in both of these other countries, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that without getting a boat, which I can't really be bothered to do for the sake of saying I stepped foot in Myanmar and Laos. I'm sure I will go to those other places at some point in the future. These fruit flavoured sodas are like my new favourite drink. This is a peach one. Looking out to 3 different countries from here, we've got Myanmar immediately behind me, and then Laos a little bit further on. The Golden Triangle is so named for its historic ties to opium production, and there are a couple of museums in the area where you can learn about the history of opium and the illegal drugs trade that spawned as a result of its uses. Other than this, there wasn't really a lot else to see here, so I took another trip up into the hills to explore the rural villages. It's bloody hot, which isn't ideal for hiking, but oh well, deal with it. So I'm trying to find some viewpoint. I'm up in the mountains, just gone through a little village. There's some bamboo bridge view spot where you look across Thailand, Myanmar and Laos, apparently. So I just need to follow this mud trail and hopefully come to the right spot. It's interesting to have all these like homestays and stuff in such remote random areas. Honestly makes me think that you could come on some sort of motorbike dependent trip around Thailand and have no idea where you're going to be staying for the evening, but just kind of knowing that eventually you will find somewhere. I tend to base myself in a hostel in some sort of majorish city and then just drive out in the day. But yeah, just coming to spots like this where there's obviously accommodation and little cafes and stuff does make me think you could do it in a completely different way if you wanted to. Oh, this is interesting. I can see, looking across over the valley, there's like various plumes of smoke, and I remember reading something about, I think it was this time of year, I'm not sure, something about basically villagers and farmers, they like burn the plantations or something, and it can create a bit of a not so nice environment depending on where you're staying. I'm not sure if this is anything to do with that or something completely different, but just came to my mind. It's only going around somebody's garden essentially by the looks of it, the bridge, but you do absolutely still get a nice view either side. So yeah, I can see the city over there which is in Laos, so all of that over in the far end will be Laos, I'm guessing, and then Myanmar is kind of sort of sandwiched somewhere in the middle basically. Now that's certainly an interesting sight to see in the middle of northern Thailand. A little bit far away from home, I would say. Definitely worth the extra 20-minute drive from the Golden Triangle to come here. It's called Doi Sa Ngo, and that is probably definitely not the right way to pronounce it, so I will put it on the screen instead. I'm assuming that these slightly more colourful, newer looking buildings are for people who are, you know, I assume they're homestays for people who are staying over. I could be wrong, but just guessing really. I don't know if it's very quiet around here. I don't think I've not seen any other non-locals, so I don't know if it's only busy at certain times of the year. So it's only coming into sort of busy season now. Well, it's the start of November, so kind of slowly coming into it. So yeah, I don't know, but no, it's a really nice area. In fact, being brutally honest, I would probably just come straight here and skip the Golden Triangle. I mean, you'll probably end up going through it anyway if you were going to come here, but there wasn't really much there in my opinion. There was the Opium Museum, which was decent enough, I guess, but other than that, I think unless you were going to get a boat trip across to Laos or Myanmar, wouldn't say there was really an awful lot else to do there. Pro tip: do not leave your moped leaning in the soft mud. So, plan for today after I've had breakfast is to go waterfall hunting. There's a choice of 3 in roughly the same area, not too far from central Chiang Rai. So yeah, we'll go and see how many of those we can do in one day. So this is Huay Mea Sai. I think the waterfall has 2 levels. I think this is one of them. The big one, the main waterfall, is just over there. I'll go and show you that in a bit. Okay, I think I was wrong. I think this is the second waterfall, not the one I was just at. You get the nice cool spray from the water as it splashes down. It's really, really refreshing. There's not really any spots to do any jumping, unfortunately, so I'm going to have to miss that part out. It's a really nice chilled out area to come, not too busy, there's a couple of people around but not that many. Yeah, you just come through a nice little hike through the jungle, pretty easy trails coming up, and yeah, you've got a couple of spots where you can just come and chill out for a little bit. This is the first waterfall. I think you can do like some jumps here if the water's higher, but I'm not too sure, and since I'm on my own I'm not going to try it. I'm just walking on up the track a little bit more. I've come out of the sort of the jungle bit slightly, and there's a couple of shacks on the other end of this field. I don't know if this is a plantation of some kind, rice or tea maybe. I don't know what a tea plantation looks like, but I think there are some around here. It does go on, not sure. There's a path going on this way and up here. Don't know if there's more villages or something. It's really, really almost weird to think people do live out here in this, literally like right in the hills in the middle of the jungle. It's quite incredible. I mean, I've passed 3 people now coming down this trail on little mopeds. I mean, it's pretty mad to think that this is basically somebody's driveway. I guess in a way there's a very simple equivalent to what we have back home in the West. You know, people live in farms out in the absolute middle of nowhere, and you know, that is their life. It's the same here, except they don't live in big brick houses, they live in wooden shacks. But they benefit from nice weather, whereas maybe people in the West don't so much. So it's interesting. Maybe it's just like the contrast of thinking it's so different, but in a way, in terms of the way of life, maybe it isn't. I mean, for me, of course, as someone who does not live in the middle of absolute nowhere, quite, this is just, you know, an extraordinary way of life in my eyes. It's just interesting to see that if you so much as want to, I don't know, go and get water, well, I'm guessing they would get like water from the stream, but food and that, do they have to motorbike down this dirt track, which I've been walking on now for half an hour, come down this every day and get some supplies from a shop somewhere just at the bottom of the mountains or something? It's just, yeah, it's just interesting. I passed some, I assume they were Thai nationals on the way up here, and they'd just gone past somebody on a motorbike, and the guy on the motorbike had told them, don't bother coming up this trail, there's nothing up here. And maybe to them that is the case if they're you know, they're aware of this way of life, they're used to it, maybe there is nothing. But for me, it is absolutely worth coming up and seeing. I can see more fields, more huts, more people. There's a few cattle herds around as well. So yeah, I don't know if this is, I can't remember where I saw it. It might have been a sign or something near the start of the waterfall trail about the something about the sort of tribal villages. Maybe this is what that is. Just the kind of native people of Thailand. I say native, but you know, whatever the appropriate term is. You're walking down the path and you just see these like gigantic cobwebs stretching from a branch all the way to somewhere else. And it takes a second for it to click that it's got to be something pretty big to make a cobweb that big. And yeah, this little nasty is he's pretty big. I don't want to get too close to him. My time in Thailand's northern provinces was a welcome contrast to its bustling capital, and another section of the country ticked off the list. When pre-planning is thrown out the window, there are no expectations, so everything I did here carried that small element of surprise and spontaneity, and those are the things that often stick with you the most. I've no doubt that there is more to see up here, and as I often say, I'm sure I'll be back. But for now, I had to take the long overnight coach trip back to Bangkok and enjoy my last day. So, I am back in Bangkok. It's my final day, so going tomorrow. It's Sunday, so I can go and check out the Chatuchak weekend market. Hold on, let me check the name on that one. The Chatuchak weekend market, one of the biggest in the world, apparently. So I will go there shortly. I am going to take a visit to the Grand Palace first because it's, I think it's the first day of reopening since it's been closed for the mourning period for the Queen. So I'm going to go there now. Yeah, see how much I can get done in my final day. Perhaps as a result of it being the first day of opening for a while, it is exceptionally busy. Have I mentioned at all on this trip that it's bloody hot? My first task is to find the Temple of the Emerald Buddha, which I would hazard a guess is a temple that contains an emerald Buddha. There's a rather large sparkly temple to my left, so that could be the one. They do like their sparkly buildings around here. Seems as though I have to walk all the way around it to get to the correct entrance.
No photo, please. No video.
Yeah, there was no cameras allowed inside the actual temple. There were anti-camera hawks everywhere. But it was interesting. Usually when you go into these sort of places, at least from what I've been into, you usually expect kind of big Buddha statue inside, whereas this one was actually quite small. It was like a massive shrine, but then just a small statue at the top. It was probably only about 2 feet tall or so. So yeah, slightly different. You've got various bits of artwork all around the complex on the walls and stuff, if that's your sort of interest. Not mine personally. Still very nice though. So this, I assume, is the actual Grand Palace. I don't know if the king lives here or not, but it's got royal guards, which, well, again, I assume their version of royal guards posted outside. So there's actually a official lying in state ceremony for the Queen somewhere behind me. There's a lot of Thai nationals all dressed in black. They were queued up earlier on just outside the temple. They're all walking in now, so I assume that's something that will be going on for a couple of days perhaps. I'm just looking through the information guide for this place. So the big building back there, that was the throne hall, the Chakri Maha Prasad throne hall. So it's, I don't know if that's sort of the main building or not, but basically I think the Grand Palace is just the entire complex. So you've got various halls, temples, pavilions, loads of stuff here really. The Chatuchak weekend market is located on the outskirts of central Bangkok, and this sprawling mass of endless stalls and indoor alleyways made even the likes of Istanbul's Grand Bazaar look modest. If you ever want to play a game of hide and seek with friends on your travels, this is a good spot to try. After trawling through seemingly endless passages with an equally endless number of other passages branching off, I find myself back outside in a completely different area, back through another passage, back outside into another different area. It was like walking through Narnia's wardrobe 5 times over. I just bought 2 more bracelets. Honestly, I have a problem. I've bought like 10 now on this trip. It's all the different colours I like. I'll get like 1 bracelet and then like 4 different colours of the same one. Oh well, they're cheap enough, so it doesn't really matter. I did have a few more things to say on this place, but someone's microphone cable decided to unlodge itself briefly. Sorry, please enjoy my B-roll footage instead. Got a blue Hawaii soda. I don't exactly know what's in it, but it's good. I just saw this t-shirt, I just find it so funny. Donald Trump on a tank with a machine gun. Also featuring Bald Eagle with some sort of minigun in its claws. Christ, it's like Narnia's wardrobe. You just go through a little tiny section and you're out on this busy market street. I have some sort of weird impulse to explore every nook and cranny of a market like this, but in this case I really don't think I'll be able to. I've been walking around for a while now and I've only just found the food quarter behind me. Despite all the markets I've been to during my 2 weeks, I would still say this is a must come and see if you are in Bangkok on a weekend. I spent my final evening wandering the streets around Khao San Road, enjoying the lively nighttime atmosphere and the last of the amazing street food that I'd soon be missing. 2 short weeks went by in the blink of an eye, and it would probably be fair to call this trip just a taste of Thailand. I know there's so much more to see in this country, and this part of the world for that matter. Would I do it again in this manner, at such short notice? Preferably not, but when opportunities arise, I take them, even if they're not perfect. So, keep your eyes peeled. You'll see me back out again in Southeast Asia at some point not too far away.